Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. And I rise not only it's enormously grateful to be able to speak on this resolution that was brought before the House by the member for Macquarie, and I was very proud to second it. But I also just want to recognise and put on the public record her enormous work with her community that suffered so much, and they've had their trials, mind you, in Macquarie through bushfire and flood, and she was indefatigable. She was there with her community, providing support and working. And I know, and she obviously will recognise and has in her contribution, that the bulk of the lion's share of this work done by so many in her community to help others in need. But I think it is important that the House have these moments to reflect on what we've gone through, and I just want to, and we don't get to have those opportunities if people like the member from Macquarie aren't putting these resolutions forward. These floods, when you consider $1 billion in damage, 63 local government areas affected, including Blacktown City, in which the federal seat of Chifley resides, it was massive. Sustained rainfall that resulted in a 1 in 50-year flood, and many Chifley residents had a nervy few days waiting to see how high those floodwaters would rise. And some of us were lucky that the floodwaters didn't reach our homes, but others weren't so fortunate. Residents from Shanes Park through to Mount Druitt and across the LGA hit very hard. And I want to pay my sincere gratitude to the men and women of the Mount Druitt and Blacktown SES who gave up much of their own time to help others deal with this situation. And during the floods, for example, Blacktown SES received 170 roughly calls for assistance, conducted 3 flood rescues, sandbagged 50 premises preventing further flooding, while Mount Druitt SES received 90 calls for help, carried out swiftwater rescue in Shanes Park, helped with 79 leaky roofs and countless reports of fallen trees, some of which dangerously close to power lines. But our SES volunteers didn't just help out people in their immediate area, they helped crews across the Hawkesbury with door-knocking, rescues, and then also helping late into the night. And I want to thank SES local commander Alan Rollinson, and at Blacktown, the Blacktown unit commander Barry Wademan and his unit, which included Matthew Elliott, Terence Sirawadina, Jonathan Giddy, Andrew Modishead, Emily Zarb, Adrian Apolakis, Daniel Groom, Ryan Rewy and Anthony Featherstone, all of whom volunteered at least 90 hours each over the course of the floods. And in Mount Druitt, who I dropped in recently to personally extend my thanks to, the commander there, Sue Flynn, her deputy unit commander, Jeff Hickson, who helped rescue 2 children from a capsized boat in the Hawkesbury, Sue's other deputy commander, Daniel Scavels, who led the unit when Sue was stuck in floodwaters, and Patrick Lockman, Katrina Staples, Derek Reed, Nathan Pearce, Wilkanya Burke, Anthony and Kelly Jarvis, Hannah Staples, Lyle Watts, Brad Bruin, Brad Wilson, Lemillo and Natalie Toive, John Alofi, Kevin and Cheryl Wing, and I'm sure there are a lot more, and please forgive me if I've overlooked anyone, but you all worked tirelessly. We all extend our thanks to you for what you did. Now that the floodwaters have subsided, the recovery option, Deputy Speaker, is still ongoing and was underway from the moment that things started to clear up. Obviously, businesses along the Hawkesbury and the member for Macquarie's electorate still reliant on working waterways to get back to work, but the damage to the environment through the debris build-up and corrosion has been prohibitive for businesses and residents living along the Hawkesbury. And in my own backyard, in particular, what struck me, the number of leaky roofs in public and social housing dwellings. I think this has been unacceptable. The local state members' offices, both for Edmund Atala and Prue Carr, received a record number of calls from people in Housing New South Wales properties whose roofs couldn't hold up against the rain. And this shows you, if the money's not there for maintenance, people pay for this at times like this, and this stuff needs to be sorted out. And what does it say about a New South Wales Liberal government that those most vulnerable in our community didn't have a safe roof above their head at the time they needed it most? Having said all that, the floods did remind us that the true force of nature, we do need people to be there at that point when it hits us, and the courageous actions of our SES and others in the community and what they did to help those most vulnerable will not be forgotten. And if anyone is still in our area affected by that, please, we've been sorting out some issues as we've gone along, but if there are any other remaining issues, please don't sit back. Please contact either myself or your local state members and we'll be more than happy to assist.